This is the High School Football America podcast for July the 18th, 2019. I'm Jeff Fisher. Tonight we travel to Arkansas, about 50 miles southwest of Little Rock and Lake Hamilton High School, and we're going to talk with the head coach there, Tommy Gilleran. We're going to touch upon what his team's all about, but the main reason we have him on here is he made a little trip west a couple of weeks ago to be honored as Gatorade has its great event every July that we've talked about on the radio show in the past, and Tommy was given the Gatorade Coaching Excellence Award, and he was honored in Los Angeles, got to walk the red carpet also at the ESPYs, so we'll talk about that, and we're going to talk about his time at Lake Hamilton as he enters his third year in the program. It's his alma mater, but he had a very successful run at Fountain Lake in Arkansas, coaching the team to a 2009 3A state championship, doing back-to-back final appearances at the school there. And he's here because, like everybody we have on the show, and people that have been with us for the last 10 years know this, I respect the coaching profession more than anybody in the media. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. There's a lot of people that do that. But I talk about it loud and proud. Coaches are the backbone of this country in so many ways. And it's no longer in football a 4-month a year job. It's around the clock. And Tommy was pointed out as one of those guys doing that. So, Coach, welcome to the show.
Hey, I appreciate it. And I appreciate, y'all reaching out to me. And we're excited for you guys here to be talking to me today. We're excited here at Lake Hamilton High School to just be on air today.
And we're going to hop into the award in a little bit here, but what I like to do, because we have a national audience, and I got to be honest with you, we've only been to Arkansas a couple of times on the show. We had Pulaski Academy on way back when, so I'm going to let you put on your kind of Chamber of Commerce hat. So your first job is to explain to the national audience here, Lake Hamilton High School, where you guys are located, what the community's like, how does football fit into the fabric of the community, and you can take as long as you want on that one, but at the end of the day, you're in charge of making everybody know why you love your alma mater. As I said, that's where you're from and went to school. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Lake Hamilton is it's out in the country. It's a country school. I mean, it's just like 10 miles outside of Hot Springs, which is like the bigger town that we're located of. So there's a lot of country kids, a lot of kids that are out here in the rural area, just kind of part of that, and it's 1,100 students. In the high school, 10, 11, 12. So it's a 6A school here in Arkansas, so it's a fairly big school. They won a state title in 93 and then 2008, and so they've won a couple. Coach Clay was coach here for 30 years before I got here. In fact, he came the year after I graduated high school. He became the head coach here at Lake Hamilton for 30 years. And so he finally retired 30 years later, and I'm having a chance to come back here and be a part of it. The kids are great around here. The people love football around here. This is a school that loves football, and of course, they love all the other sports too. And we have a great track program here. Coach Kuntz is just now retired and has 45 state titles in track and cross country, and so he built up a program that's unbelievable here too. And our basketball coach, Coach Pennington, does a good job, and Coach Conley, the girls coach. I mean, it's just unbelievable. The coaching staff around here is pretty phenomenal, and they've done a really good job of building up this school and the program. It's just facilities are top notch. If you come to our school and you see our arena, which we're attached to, the field house is a part of it. We have a huge weight room that's unbelievable with unbelievable weight racks and everything. It looks like a college weight room. We have a college-looking film room. Every seat's got a stitch LH in it, and with the leather, and unbelievable that aspect. The gym has 3,000 probably seats for our thing. Has a huge jumbo board on our football field and has a jumbo board in the middle of our basketball court. So the facilities here are top notch. The administration's unbelievable. Our admin does a good job of promoting education here, but also the athletics is a big deal around here. You know how people love athletics in the United States, and so same thing here. And so our administration does a good job of pumping that up and doing a good job. Our athletic director, Rick Waters, does a good job of communicating to the community and stuff about what's going on. And so it's been a huge blessing for me to come back, play here, from fifth grade on. Graduated here, had a chance to go on and play college ball at Arkansas Tech. My dream was always to come back one day and coach, but Coach Clay was here for 30 years.
That's a long time.
It took a long time. It was, it took a long time for me to get back around on that, which is fine. I think you talked about earlier, had a lot of success. I went to a school at Fountain Lake that really never won a whole bunch, and went over there and and kind of turn that program around. In fact, we went to for 6 years in a row, went to the semifinals to the finals 6 years in a row.
Nice.
And so we played in a lot of games. We played 1 or 2 points from being in the finals. We could have been in the finals 6 years in a row in all those years too. I mean, we were right there. Lost 1 game by 2, lost 1 by 3. I mean, every one of those games we had a chance to play in the finals one more time. And so had a really good run there, won a state title in 2009, probably should have won in 2008. In 2008, we actually had a team that rushed for the 5,400 yards rushing, and we averaged 52 points a game. It was an unbelievable year. I mean, just the kids were awesome. Had a running back that had 1,900, another one had 1,800 yards rushing, and so we had a lot of success over there. And I kind of built that program up, which gave me an opportunity to come back to my alma mater and be a part of this program. And you don't know, excited, and we're finally getting what we need here, and I'm getting the kids, you know, what I want them to do and the kind of system we run here, and the kids are buying in, and it's been it's unbelievable and exciting just where we're going. We had a camp on Tuesday with Pulaski Academy, as you said earlier, with Coach Kelly brought his kids over here, and we had another school, Little Rock McClellan was here, just 2 really good schools here in Arkansas that play really good football and did really well, and to the point where I feel like we're going to be okay this year, and because we had 2 sophomore running backs, and so you know, that was a little worry for me, but we have a junior quarterback in Lane Warwick who's phenomenal. He can throw the ball, he can run it, he can do kind of a little bit of everything. So we're excited about what he can do. We've got a good senior offensive lineman. So
you're
overall,
ready.
Our kids really, they're buying in. It's been good, and I'm looking forward to see what we can do this year.
Good, and we're going to get a couple more kids in here at the back end of our interview here. But let's, you win a Coaching Excellence Award. It's not about wins and losses. That's the beauty of it. And you heard my statement at the beginning, how I feel about coaches.
Amen.
So what I want to do at this point, take a little bit of your time to talk about the foundation. You mentioned Coach Clay, 3 decades. I love coaches like that, right? They're going to be dinosaurs. The sport burns out coaches nowadays. Right? You know, to be it's a long time around. But what I'm going to ask you is, what you learned from Coach that you carry with you today, and then the other thing is, what is your thumbprint? Because again, wins and losses are nice, state championships are great, but you're affecting young men with what they will do in the future. So what is a foundation that you lay out to your young men as they come in and join your program?
Yeah, one of the big things we see is we want to treat it like a family atmosphere. We want these kids to want to be around here all the time. We want to make them feel like this is another part of their home, and that they have, there's a safe place for them to be a part of it. They know when they come here, there's a lot of work, but also it's a place where they can feel like they can be a part of. We want our kids to love to be in this area, love to be a part of the school and everything else that goes in with this. And so, it's a huge family atmosphere. I'm a real relational coach, so I really, I try to get to know my kids and get to understand what's going on and how their family's doing, and what's your brother doing, what's your sister doing, so I get to know my kids and get to understand what's going on in their lives, and just really get to understand where they're going. So, the huge thing I think is the family atmosphere that we try to teach, and a lot of that is we teach a lot of character stuff. We try to go through a book or something every year that really highlights the different type of character traits we want our kids to do, and I always tell my kids every day, when you leave Lake Hamilton football, we want you to make you one of the best workers that ever worked. Whatever it is, whether you're a garbage man or a doctor, we want you to be the best person at that job. And that they learn those traits here at Lake Hamilton football. And then the next thing I said, when you become a good husband, that you love your wife so well, and that you stay with your wife for the whole, whatever that experience is until you pass away, and that you really love your wife, and that foundation of a good marriage is there with you. And then the last thing, be a good father to your kids. When your kids grow up, they need a good father. And are you being that father for those kids? And so we really talk about that, how to treat people, how to like people, how to do service work, how to spend time outside of school doing stuff for other people and being selfless. And like our little mantra this year is we're going to have like a couple letters on it. And and we said this season's the thing that we're going to really talk about. This life is not about us. And that's our kind of mantra. And if we all play for each other and not for ourselves, how much better are you? And so that's how we kind of look at it. And so that's our little mantra this year. This life's not about us, and it's about each other. Hey, what are you doing for your teammates? What are you doing for your brother? What are you doing? And so we always try to push that out there, because I feel like when the kids love each other, we're better, and they care for each other. And when I've been on teams that were real talented and they didn't like each other and we struggled, and then I've been on teams that were less talented and won a lot because they cared for each other. And because when it was crunch time, they knew that guy was going to do what was asked of him to do. And so I think we really try to teach that here at Lake Hamilton.
That's a pretty darn good foundation. We're talking with Tommy Gilleran, Lake Hamilton High School in Arkansas, the winner of Gatorade's Coaching Excellence Award this year, honored in Los Angeles just recently, joining us on the podcast tonight. Coach, I mentioned, Coach Clay and all that, and I mentioned at the top that it's no longer a 4-month-a-year job. It's around the clock, passing tournaments, like all of that sort of stuff. You've been around this a while, and one of the great things that keeps this sport going are the guys that play it, go to whatever level they go to, even if it's just, Friday nights, and then come back and give of themselves. I'm sure you've got those guys on your staff. What's some of the sage advice? Not that you're an old guy, but you're old enough to have been around. What would be some of the advice you get? Because we get a lot of coaches listening to this podcast and our shows. What's the advice you would give if a young man is looking to get into the profession? What should they, A, know, and B, strive to do? I mean, aside from the foundation you just laid out there.
Yeah, that would be the big part. The other part is, and I love what I do. I don't feel like I ever go to work. And I know it's a lot of work, a lot of stuff, and I enjoy everything I get to do. And I know there's stuff that we got to do that you just do, but I think that's in any job. But I would tell them, whatever job you're going into, especially in coaching, you need to love it, because it's a year-round job. And, when the season gets over, we give them 2 weeks off, and bam, we're back at it again. And then we go all summer, and then we take a 2-week break, and then we go at it. So we've been going at it since dead weeks and doing team camps and 7-on-7s and throwing. I think you got to have a true love or a passion, because one of my coaches told me one time, he goes, when you have a passion for something, then when get to year 10, if you don't have a passion, you're going to wonder why you're in this job. Mm-hmm. But if you have a true passion for what you're doing, you're going to go on for 20 or 30 or 40, because it doesn't seem like you're working. And, you think, like you talked about earlier with Coach Kuntz, we got a guy that just retired, 46 years of coaching. He had a passion for track and cross country. And that's what I have. I have a passion for football. When the day I retire, the day I sit down and go, hey, I'm going to let some younger guy come and take this and run the ball with this. It's because I feel like, I'm going to let somebody else have it and take it on. I'm going to still have a passion. But, as you get older, it's a lot of work, and a lot of, it's 7 days a week. It's a lot of stuff going on, and there's a lot of community stuff. But it's got to have that passion with it. And I feel the more you have a passion for and a love for the game, then it makes a big difference. And then you want to change people's lives. Are you getting in it to affect kids, or are you in there because you want to win titles? And I think winning titles is a good thing, and I think that will come. But I think if you got to want to, make an effect in kids' lives, is that why we get in it? Are you being a positive influence or role model for that kid that he has something to look forward if he doesn't have it at his house? And so I think about that all the time. Are you being a role model for that kid, that he can do something one day? Because, we looked up the other day, 0.09% actually make it to pros. 0.09%.
Yeah.
You think about it. What are the odds you're going to play pro football? Well, probably not. I'd love to see it one day, and it'd be awesome to be, have a kid that I've never coached one yet. So I've not been there yet. And of course, I've been coaching a lot of rural schools in my life. Fountain Lake was a small rural school. And so we have some good players, but not great players. And so never a pro level and that kind of stuff. And so I think you got to have that type of passion for it and a drive for it. And then you want to care and change your kids' lives, because if it's about titles and stuff and you don't win titles and things like that, and then you get mad and you get frustrated and that's what your life drives around, well, those things are going to fade. There's an interview on Tom Brady after he won his 3rd Super Bowl title, and he even made a question, because we actually did a coach's outreach Bible study on it. He asked the question, is there more to life than this? Mm-hmm. And I think you got to think about that. Is there more to life than just winning titles? And, for him, that was 3. And so for him, he reached the pinnacle of his career. He's won 3 titles, which most people have never won 1, and he's won 3, now he's won 6. But for him to question that's a guy that's at the top level of his game, wondering if there's more to life. And I think that's why we got to train kids and speak life into them, so that when they leave our football program, they have something to hang on to when they go out in life.
Yeah. And like I said at the top, I'm always on my soapbox, sometimes having to be a little bit more passionate than usual when you get some parents that are, kind of not understanding what a coach does or more worried about playing time. But you guys make such a big impact. Tommy Gilleran is on the line, Lake Hamilton High School. We're going to talk about your award here in a second, but I wanted to kind of set the tone here, why you won this award from Gatorade. And when you were talking about having that impact, as I prepared for this interview, one thing kept popping up. It was also in the news release about the award. Is there's a young man that you had an impact on.
Yeah.
His name is Dale Smith, and he now has a hyphen in that and uses Gilleran in there. And I think if I were to do anything more than say he's listed as, and I see it in quotes, your adopted son, I would love for you to kind of talk about who this young man is. I know he's now on your coaching staff, but tell me a little bit about the impact you had on him and how he became your quote-unquote adopted son.
Yeah, it was neat about him. He started at Fountain Lake back in 7th grade. He actually moved to New Jersey, and he got, involved in a program, and I'm a big FCA guy, which is Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And so he started coming to our meetings. I got to know him a little bit, and I took him home a bunch, and I've taken a bunch of kids home before. They can't, they don't have rides or whatever's going on, just family working or just whatever goes on. And so I really got to know him really well. And every year, we'd go do stuff, and then we're going on vacation one summer, and he goes, man, I've never been on a vacation. And you kind of go, well, hey, you want to go with us? And so we go, well, come on with us. And he was kind of going to church with us some and doing, FCA stuff with me. And so he went on our first vacation actually to Dauphin Island, which is, I guess, in Alabama. And we went on vacation together, and he hung out with us and was just a part of the whole thing with our family. And then he did that the next couple summers and just hanging out with us and being a part of it. Well, going in his junior year, his dad went to Indiana for work. Well, he was only going to be gone a week. Well, 1 week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks to 4 weeks, and then his dad calls, hey, I'm not coming back. And so we're sitting in the living room, and he's going, what am I going to do? And me and my wife have been praying about it and felt led to make him part of our family. And so we moved Dale in to my daughter's toy room or playroom. We had an extra room in our office. I mean, it's like an office, playroom, whatever, and moved all the toys to the side and put a bed in there. My mom and dad bought me a bed, put in there. They got him a dresser. My aunt bought him a dresser, and so it took it takes a family to raise a kid, and takes a group of people, right? And so they paid for that and got it all in there, and he moved in with me his junior year and then his senior year, and then he went on to college. Went to 4 years at Henderson State University and actually student coached his last couple of years there at Henderson State, so he got a little coaching into it. I come over here right when he was graduating, had a position open, like a secondary position, secondary line, weightlifting stuff, and he's really good at weightlifting and secondary stuff. And I said, hey, man, this is a prime time for me to give a job. And then the school administration, go, hey, we don't always like hiring family, we kind of worry about that. And I said, well, he's family, but he's not family. He's not really. If we want to get technical, he's actually not blood family. He's kind of been in my house to raise my family. Got a chance to hire him, and just he's now part of our family. I mean, he's been a part of it, and now I get to coach with him every day. And what an exciting us to be a part of his life, and he's going to be a great football coach. He won't be here long. I know he'll be here another 3-4 years, and then he'll try to go be a head coach and go on and be his own man and do his own thing. And because he wants to, that's his kind of goal and his dream. But it's good for him to be here and be experienced and have a chance for, I know I've got a kid on board that loves me and wants to do what's right and is going to work hard on the football field. And so I don't have to worry about him on that aspect, and it's good to have that on my staff. And so I'm very blessed, for him to be that. My wife never hesitated. I've got a coach's wife, and you know how that is, and you probably talked about that before in your show. When you got the right coach's wife, that makes your job better, because I don't worry about time and stuff like that. My wife, man, she's such a good housewife and a good mom to my kids. And, the big thing that I've learned in this profession now, this will be my 26th year, is when I'm home, I got to be intentional. When I'm home, I don't need to go take a nap. I need to be home. I need to be a part of my kids' lives. If they want to do something, I got to do something. So I've got to find energy or wherever that is to be intentional with my family. And so I always think about that, and especially with my wife. And so we always get away and do something together in the off season, just to spend time and work on ourselves and love each other better. And so all those aspects that I've learned over these years that I try to pour into this. And, in fact, I pour into our coaches. I do our coaches retreat with our coaches, my staff, and we always give them some type of book or something for them to learn from, to help their marriage and their family. That way, when one day they leave, they have that chance to influence somebody else. And so that's kind of I'm always trying to disciple or work on people, so when they do leave, they have some kind of foundation that they can put their feet on.
Well, a lot in that story there with Dale, and I'm not mistaken about that. I read a story somewhere in the prep that he does go with the hyphen, right? Even though he's not blood, and you didn't officially adopt him. Is that true?
That is true, and what is, he's actually knocked the hyphen off. He is actually just Dale Gilleran now because of Social Security and stuff. It was easier to get rid of the Smith, and so he is now officially Dale Gilleran. And what it is, there's a couple videos out there, and he when he decided to do that, I said, man, you ain't got to do that. We love you. If you want to, he goes, no, man, I want to do that because I love you guys. He goes, I want to honor you guys. And so he went down and got it changed. Now it's just Dale Gilleran. And so, where used to be Dale Smith Gilleran, and now he just took it off because apparently the Social Security, it's all, he had to get a new Social Security card. And when you change your name, all that stuff goes down. And so he actually got rid of it. And so he just wanted to be a part of our family because I want to honor you by taking your name.
Wonderful.
And what an honor. What an honor for a kid to say that he wants to be a part of your life because he wants to honor you. Man, what better words that you can speak or live when somebody wants to take your name? Because a lot of us say your name, that's all you got, and on the back of your shirt. That's what I tell the kids all the time. For us, Lake Hamilton football, but your name is what you carry and what's your family, your legacy, and what is your legacy? What are you doing? What are you creating? So I'm excited. It's a neat story for me. To be a part. I didn't think about it when I did it. I did it because I love them and I wanted to have a place to live. And I've had other kids stay with me before for a little bit of time, never to stay forever. But so you just never know. I just want to reach out to kids and be a part of their lives that I can pour something into them.
And folks who have never coached or don't know a coach personally, that's why I said what I said at the beginning. Coaches make a difference, and there's a good segue right into the award. So you're out there, as you called it, in the country, not a metropolis by any stretch of the imagination, and Gatorade comes calling. So at first, you think you're being punked? Somebody's got a prank going on? What goes through your mind?
It's exactly right. I thought somebody had somebody call me, some woman call me, and I go, whatever. I go, man, I went 5-6 last year. And they go, no, it's more about, what you've done in your legacy and stuff like that. And I'm going, okay, and I know a lot of it stems from me when I was at the Fountain Lake, and I had a lot of success there. And I'm going to have a lot of success here one day. I feel like the same things I did there, it took me a little time to bring it, and I'm going to bring it here and do some of the great things we did there here. And so, yeah, I was kind of, no, this ain't true. You guys are crazy. She goes, no, it's real. I was going, okay, well, I go, I'm honored. I mean, I'm blessed. I mean, what I think about is, for them to find me here in Arkansas, there's 50 states, there's one male coach and there's one female coach. And I guess somebody nominates you. I don't know who nominated me, but somebody nominated you and then put you up for this award. And what an honor. Mm-hmm. What a blessing. Because now you think about it again. They have one a year. So that means, there'll be another year. There'll be, and so what a huge blessing for the school, but also for me and my family. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just honored and blessed, and I don't even know what to say. I was very humble. But the whole experience with Gatorade, they put on a first class show out there. And the awards ceremony, we went up there on a Monday and flew up early, and they go, what time are you going to leave? We go 3:30. We want to get out there and see the sights because Monday was the only day off. So me and my wife went around and we were sightseers for a day. And then Tuesday was an all-day thing with Gatorade, just different things going on all day. And to be around those pro athletes, they had like 8 or 9 pro athletes there. And what phenomenal people they were. All of them great people, just they'll talk to you and speak to you. And I was just so honored. Peyton Manning meeting had like a 5-10 minute conversation about football and how nice the guy is. And, one thing I love with Peyton Manning, he said to me, he goes, I still keep in contact with my high school coach.
Yep.
He goes, he's 86 years old, and he's old in his days. He goes, but I still contact him. Well, what an impact that coach had on Peyton Manning. For Peyton Manning, who everybody wants to be a part of his life, for him to care about his high school football coach that much. And so that meant a lot to me because I'm sitting there thinking, well, if it meant a lot to him, then it means a lot to everybody else. And so that was a real pleasure. And then all the other pro athletes I got to meet, they were just Sonny Michel and Todd Gurley, just real nice guys, just real complimentary. The Tom's guy from Minnesota Timberwolves, basketball player, Abby Wambach, just, hey, Coach, congratulations. I'm proud of you. Thanks for, what you do. And so I was real honored to be there on that day. And then to get it all the ESPYs. We're walking around people, I don't even know who they are. Everybody. I took a lot of pictures and I put them on. I guess old people do Facebook, and I have a Twitter account too. But I put some of that stuff on Twitter. But Facebook, I don't know. I'm more of a Facebook guy, and I put a bunch of stuff up, and a bunch of people go, "We're waiting for every picture that you put on there." And so I put a lot of pictures because I have a lot of pictures, and I just took a whole bunch. And the experience was phenomenal. Gatorade is top notch, one of the best organizations that I've ever been around for how they treated me and how they treated my wife, and then everything that went on with this process was unbelievable. I mean, it was just an honor to be out there, but also the way they treated me. I mean, whoever gets the award next year, it's a huge blessing, but they'll take care of you from the minute you get off the plane to the last day you leave. And it was just a great experience, but also, how important coaches are in kids' lives. And I know that's why they do it, and I appreciate them.
Yeah, and that's and what a great year. And we're, by the way, talking with Tommy Gilleran, Lake Hamilton. What a year to go to the ESPYs, because who wins the Jimmy V Award for Perseverance other than Rob Mendez? For those of you that have not read the story or seen the story, it's all over the place. Rob, born with no legs, no arms, and he is a head JV football coach. He learned the fundamentals from playing EA Sports, if you will, the Madden game, and he's been doing it as an assistant for a while, but out of the blue, in Northern California, the coach calls him and says, "You're going to be the head of the JV team," and not only does he get that job, he goes 8-2, and then you're there in the audience watching that. What was that like for you to see that up close and personal like that?
Unbelievable. And then, I know they didn't show the whole story with him, but, and when he's speaking, he did an awesome job speaking about how important coaches are and how important things are, and how impactful it is for kids, and how impactful he thought for himself. Not even that award, just having a chance to be a part of coaching and how that impacts kids. And so it was awesome. I mean, it was a great experience. What a great role model for kids. Mm-hmm. Here's a guy that has so many limitations, but he doesn't let that stop him from being successful. I mean, that ought to be a role model for anybody. And so he is for me. I wanted to meet him after. There was an ESPYs after award, and I wanted to go meet him, and I just wanted to take a picture with him and say hi. Hey, what do you do? What's going? But I didn't get to do that, and so maybe I get to do that one day. Get to meet him and just talk to him, and what a good person that guy is.
Yeah, like I said, when I put the story up that night in the video, his speech and all that, I said, if you need motivation today, you think your life is not doing so well, watch this, and then tell me how bad your life is. I mean, it was that inspirational.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Tommy Gilleran on the line, Lake Hamilton, and as promised, you touched on a couple of the kids before. It is getting close to camp there, and I would love to give you the opportunity to, you've talked a little bit about what your goals are in that, but who are some of the kids by name that you're looking to for leadership, not only, on the field, but off the field? So let's give them a little bit of props heading into 2019.
Yeah. One of our kids that's an all-conference player that's coming back is Jared Wilson. He's one of our offensive linemen. He's 6 foot, 275 kid that has a 33 ACT, 4.2 grade point. Hardest work in the weight room, hardest work on the field. When people don't get in line, he gets them in line. He's the kind of kid I need every day. He makes our offense better because he's just on them, and what a senior leadership. And then here's a kid that's going to go to school for free, has a 33 ACT. He wants to play football, so I'm going to try to get him on a Division II school. And I mean, a lot of Division II schools will give him a chance just because he'll go to school for free with a 33 ACT. Mm-hmm. And so he does a great job, and we're excited for him. Pearson Hafer, he's our free safety. He's been a 2-year starter. He's one of those kids that got a high ACT too and a high grade point. And those kids, it seems like those kids there understand what it takes in the classroom, but also on the field. And they work hard every day, and he kind of keeps everybody in line. Does a really good job of that. Braden Broughton, who's another all-conference player from us last year, he's our fastest kid, does a really good job of running the ball, but defensively had a 103-yard interception return last year in a game and also a 99 kickoff return in the same game. So he has a lot of speed and makes things happen for us. We got Tommy Nathalay. He's going to be a senior, played for us last year at defensive end. He's going to play linebacker this year. He's a 6 foot, 220-pound linebacker he's a headhunter and plays hard. Man, he gets after people, and his energy is awesome. And I feel like he's the kind of guy that's going to help push us through this year on defense and on offense too. There's Jack Keeling, our other guard, he's a 3-year starter, and he's done a good job for us. Jack has a good chance of helping us offensively. Jack's a smart kid, too. Those 3 guys kind of anchored up. Marcus Smith, our center, who's another guy. I have 3 guys in the middle of my offensive line that are seniors that have been with me and been working this system for a while and have done a good job of executing it. And I'm looking forward to that leadership on offense and in defense, like I said, with Pearson Hafer and Broughton and Tommy Naftali, how important they are to our defense and how they're going to make us better next year and this year. I mean, just how they push through things and how they work in the weight room and all that type of things. And so those type of kids are going to give us a chance to be real successful here at Lake Hamilton.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time today to get us up to speed on what's going on there at your high school and just kind of, reliving that great moment of winning the Gatorade Coaching Excellence Award. We wish you nothing but success in the coming season. And again, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate you having us, man. This is an honor here just to be here and have a chance to spread the same thing I always wanted to do. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Tommy Gilleran of Lake Hamilton High School in Arkansas, Gatorade's Coaching Excellence Award winner for 2019. That'll do it for today. Tune in tomorrow for another edition of the High School Football America podcast. I'm Jeff Fisher.